Hey, what's up everybody? This is Damron. We're playing Halo Reach. We're on the Master Chief Collection, so things are a little bit different. But we're doing our lasso guide, and we're doing it on co-op, so that brings us to part 2, which is Oni Sword Base. So a couple things, there are guides out for lasso, but if you notice when you're looking, a lot of them are single player. So I decided to make a co-op guide because some things are a little bit different on co-op, and we're going to go through those as we're progressing through this level. This is one of the longer levels in the game on lasso. In fact, this beginning portion is actually one of probably actually the hardest section in this level. So you really want to take your time here. We're going to just stay back as soon as we kind of step off the Pelican. You can see I kind of jumped up on this crate here by using those barrels so I could get a better vantage point. So just to mention a couple things while we're kind of doing this that are a little bit different than single player. Mainly the single player difference is going to be the Iron Skull, and when you die in solo on Iron Skull, you'll have to restart the level and or use the save and quit kind of workaround where right when you die you save and quit and actually will come back at that checkpoint. But in co-op you're going to restart at the most recent checkpoint. You won't actually restart the level, but the counter thing about that is on co-op you do have to beat the entire mission. You can never save and quit in co-op. If you come back you will restart the level, so keep that in mind. In the beginning of this level, obviously again we're staying back. I just want to cover some things as we're staying back. We really just want to really take this section here very slowly. Okay, I went over all the skulls in the first part of this guide, so I'm not going to go over everything, but obviously just touching on the blind skull, which is making our HUD completely blank. There is a workaround for that if you want to use it. I personally don't. I enjoy lasso for lasso and took on the challenge the way it's supposed to be, but if you find it too difficult to not have a crosshair, feel free to go into a custom game and then you can place like a sticky note or something on your screen where your aimer is supposed to be. So moving forward a little bit, you can see I'm just progressing up the left-hand side of the beginning of this level. There are a lot of elites down here, and that's going to give us an option to talk about the difference between co-op and single player in the sense of gameplay. What you're going to notice is that if you use some of the single player strategies, they are good and they will work, but in some areas it's a little different because the enemy encounter is different. So for instance here, there's actually a lot more elites in this first section compared to single player. So there are going to be some enemy encounters in co-op that are a little bit more difficult, have more elites or more enemies in general. That's why some people say playing on solo is easier than co-op, but for me, I like to play with my friends, so let's play on co-op, and here's the guide, so let's roll. And that's really mainly differences, and I'll point out the areas where those differences are evident, and talk about the difference between the single player and the co-op. So we're just kind of hanging back here on the left side of this beginning part of the level, and actually Kat is up here taking out a lot of these enemies, and we're going to take our opportunities here and there to help her out, especially with the concussion elite. But keep in mind, if you do get too much attention on you, if you kind of poke out too much, the enemies can actually come up to where you are, and that can cause you problems. So you can see I'm really just staying back, staying safe. I'm letting Kat kind of take care of business. So we'll quickly touch on the weapons. Obviously blind skull's on and you can't really see what weapon you have out, but the easy work around that is just to press back on the Xbox controller, not sure what it is for PC, and it'll show you which weapon you have equipped as well as which power you have equipped, so that's easy. You can also use your shadow if you want to just look down at the ground and look at the shadow of the weapon that's in your hand. And obviously as you play more and more, when you just switch the weapons, each weapon has a unique sound of when you pull it up, so you can actually notice that by the audio cues. There is a sniper rifle up here on the upper right portion of this little tower here, so if you want to use that, again, feel free. Right now we're really just kind of waiting for Kat to kind of do some work on these elites, and you saw me earlier grab a plasma pistol, so I brought that up here. I'm going to juggle the plasma pistol and the sniper back here, see if I can use the sniper to help out a little bit. I don't even know if I'm hitting my shots there, probably not, but again, we're just going to take our time and we're going to finish up these elites here, and then we'll get moving on. So that's what you're looking for there. So basically, if you give Cat enough time, she's going to drop the shields on those enemies. And another thing that you can see, we're staying up here, use this ledge for cover. And a lot of the times in most of the fights in Halo Reach, they don't really aim for your head. I actually found that out from listening to Halo Completionist, who has a really good solo guide up. So, you know, check that out if you're rolling solo. Hopefully this guide will help more of you that are going for co-op. So after you clean those up, you're pretty safe to come down here. You want to kind of scour. Make sure you have as full of a plasma pistol as possible. So that's what I'm kind of doing here. And I'm also scouring the area for some extra DMR ammo. There are a lot of Marines that'll come in this section and die, and some of them will drop some DMR ammo, so that'll help you out. Here, I believe there's some up here, but anyway, that's all I'm doing really right now, is just kind of looking for some ammo. You know, in LASO, you really want to take your time, make sure you have the things that you need before you kind of advance into the next section, which I did right here. If you progress down the ramp a little bit, you're going to get a couple skirmishers to come up here. They're easy. Obviously, they don't have any shields or anything, so just get that headshot and moving on.
Noble 2 to sword control. Courtyard is clear. Over.
Head for the main gate to the east. I'll brief you as you go.
So once you've kind of cleared out the courtyard again, I'm just kind of scouring a little bit. There's a health pack you can grab here if you're low on health. Again, if you want to use the plasma pistol trick, where you just shoot a fully charged plasma pistol against the wall when you're standing right next to the wall, it'll hurt you enough to where you can grab those health packs and get full health, full shields. I didn't do it right there. I think my teammate needed it a little bit more than I did. So here we go, moving on. Anyway, once you collected some DMR and collected the most full plasma pistol that you can find, we're ready to kind of head into the next section here. So we scoured, for a little bit there, so I kind of just cut ahead, and now we're moving down, so we're going to kind of go into this next section here. There is another health pack down here, so again, co-op, there will be another health pack right here if you need it, as well as some DMR ammo. Now we're going to juggle this target locator here with our plasma pistol kind of right up to the middle. We're going to go out the middle of this. If you don't do this, one of your weapons can actually get stuck on the left or right. So go up the middle and juggle so we can have our plasma pistol out here. We're going to need that. And we're going to use the target locator to take down one Wraith. Don't take down both. So I like to let him come up in the middle a little bit, just so the target locator doesn't actually, which it can, kill both tanks at the same time. In fact, there's an achievement for that. But we just want to take out one of them. And once we do, we're going to go ahead and grab our plasma pistol back. We'll go back for that target locator in just a minute. That's going to be critical. And it's important that you only use one shot, okay? Do not use two shots. If you don't kill the Wraith up there, there is some rockets right here. You can see them right here. I'm juggling. I may not have actually killed the Wraith in this playthrough. I'm not sure. But you can juggle and get those rockets up there and use that to finish off the Wraith. Do not shoot that target locator twice. Okay, see here, I actually didn't. So I'm using the rockets to finish this Wraith off. So do that. Don't use the target locator twice, because we're going to need that second shot later. That's pretty critical in the next section. So once we have basically taken out that first Wraith, we're pretty safe where we're at over here. And what we want to do is kill the gunner on the Wraith there. You can see there's a couple easy shots there. Just boom, boom. Take that grunt off the top. And once we've killed the elite and the grunts, we're going to use our plasma pistol to basically stun the Wraith, hop on, melee it twice, no more than twice, okay, and now hop off, and now the driver is exposed. So we're going to shut it down again. And I'm obviously not the best at this, but you can position yourself on this Wraith where when it's moving around, you'll move with it, and you won't actually fall off or anything. But I'm not the best Halo player, but you're on top, just melee this guy and or shoot him. You can shoot him with the plasma pistol. Don't use a weapon because you might actually damage the Wraith itself. But what we want to do is essentially kill this guy. And by meleeing him or using the plasma pistol to... God, I'm so bad sometimes. But once you use the plasma pistol to take his shields down or just melee him down, we can actually get in this Wraith and make the next sections of the level much easier.
Outstanding.
Pelican inbound with transport 6.
Alright, so I'm going to speed this up here. You know, I'm really kind of just collecting some weapons. You want to go back and grab your target locator. Make sure you have the target locator and your DMR. Again, you can always check by holding the back button. And once we have our target locator and the DMR, we can get into the Wraith. We want Kat to get in the Wraith with us and be the gunner because she's invincible. And really, where we're going to position ourselves, it's not really good for your partner to be in the Wraith because he could die in the gunner seat. So we really don't want your partners in the gunner seat. It's preferable to have Kat in there with you and then have your other players just kind of in the Warthog and really honestly in the next section just kind of hanging back because we're going to take care of most of the next section with the Wraith, and this strategy in the next section really isn't any different than the solo lasso guide. So we're really going to utilize a very safe method. She just did not want to get in this Wraith right here. She screw you guys. Whatever you're trying to do, I'm not a part of it. But once you finally get her in the Wraith, we're ready to move on. We're going to go to the right first. And it's a good idea to go on the right first because we're going to clear this path out, and later, I'm not sure why some people in other guides like to go all the way around when they return, but when we return on this side, there will be nothing here for us to worry about after we kind of finish the next objective and we have to come back. So that's a good thing. So once you move up here though, there will be a ghost and a couple grunts that you need to take out, so just kind of hang back, take your time. Really, a lot of the key of lasso is just taking your time, not rushing through things. Just kind of take your time. And honestly, Halo Reach lasso isn't that bad compared to Halo 1 and 2. So I think you guys won't have too much trouble with this, and hopefully this guide will help you guys out. So let's get moving on slowly but surely. Just there it is. I was looking for that ghost. I knew he's up here somewhere. Also keep in mind the vehicle reticles are a little bit lower than the weapon reticles, so if you did use the method to put an aimer on your screen, which is totally up to you, it's totally fair if you want to do that. I prefer not to. I actually enjoy playing without the crosshair and enjoyed the challenge, but keep in mind that the crosshair for the weapons is not the same as the crosshair for the vehicles, so keep that in mind. So once we get to this next section, we've got our handy dandy Wraith with us, and don't get stuck on rocks like me. Feel free to just go to the right and not look like an idiot. But we're gonna go up. What am I doing? I don't know what I was doing, but we're gonna go up to the left side here, and we're just where that phantom is. We're gonna go all the way up there, and we're just gonna hang behind the rocks. And up there, the enemies don't tend to charge you. They may here and there, but we're really going to stay back and just slowly take out everything with these wraiths other than the general elite that's on top of the roof. You can actually despawn him. I don't see that in many videos, but I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. You can actually despawn that guy. I'm not sure why most players don't show you that, but I'll show you. And so we're just going to sit up here and we're going to enjoy our time up here. And there's a very critical thing we need to do later with the target locator, which I'll show you. But when you're up here where I'm at, the enemies don't tend to run up here, but when they do, they tend to come up right in between that rock, right where that elite did, and you can get some pretty easy shots on them if they do come up there, but for the most part they typically don't. And then obviously with tough luck on, when they're jumping and dodging all the time, it can make shooting them a little bit difficult. So the player that got in the warthog can help you out by coming up here as well, a little bit to the left of where I'm at, and just kind of unloading the chain gun on these enemies while you're shooting the wraith at them. But again, take your time. There's really no rush here. No need to, you know, make anything crazy. Just take your time, keep shooting enemies, keep taking them out. So we're gonna keep doing that. Kind of hanging out up here. We've pretty much cleared out everything. We're just kind of waiting essentially for a dropship that's going to come right actually where we are right now. It's going to come right where we are, and I'll show you how to deal with that. But kind of went down here. You don't have to. I think I was looking to see, you know, is there somebody alive down here? Just kind of looking around to see why we're not advancing. I'm not even sure what I'm shooting at there, but nonetheless, keeping it trashy. We're just hanging out in the Wraith with Cat, enjoying the view. There we go. So there was some grunts hiding in there. Eventually a dropship though is going to come right on our position, okay? And when this dropship comes, you need to take out the gun on the back of it so it doesn't do damage to you. It's going to drop the enemies off the side of the cliff below you, so you don't need to worry about them dropping on you where you're at. You just need to take out the gun of it, and you're pretty much in the clear. And shortly after that, you know, we're taking some shots at these elites and these grunts, just trying to clean them up. Again, they tend to come right up in between those rocks, which gives you a pretty easy shot. But shortly after that, you're going to notice this phantom here is going to come in on our right there, right above me, and you see the two ghosts on it. You need to hop out right then and use your target locator on it, get right back into your wraith. You can see a elite happen to come up here. But what you're trying to do is that target locator will generally take out the ghosts, and you won't have to deal with those. That's why we saved that target locator from the beginning, specifically for that shot. As soon as you see it come in on your screen, you need to hop out and use it on the phantom, and the target locator will follow the phantom where it stops and will generally light those ghosts up, and you won't have to worry about them at all. So let's go ahead and clean up the other elites here. Again, the tough luck skull is, you know, kind of frustrating sometimes. They have ulti dodge abilities, but just take your time and take these guys out. I just want to point out right now that this is what pro Wraith shots look like. You can see how accurate I am. Every shot just point blank nail. I'm just kidding. This guy's like remarkable if you think about it. This one elite is holding us up. Oh, direct hit. And he's alive. Oh my goodness. This dude is OP. Alright, there we go. Alright, so once you've cleared out all those guys, we're going to make our way over to this building that has that general elite on top of it with the sticky launcher. If you just fire some shots up at the roof, again, the tough luck skull actually can help you out sometimes, and this is one of them. Just take a couple shots up there and he'll kind of dive out of the way, and you can boost to the back here. So we're going to hop off. There's a bunch of stuff back here if you need it. There's some health packs. You probably shouldn't have taken much damage, but there is a health pack there. I believe there's another one inside. There's some DMR ammo in here up on the wall, so feel free to get all that. We do want to pick up a plasma pistol. Again, there's another health pack, DMR ammo, some grenades, so make sure you're full up. And normally the game wants you to go up onto that roof, fight that guy in order to hit a switch, but this is a pretty well-known thing. You can actually hit that switch from the outside. So we're just going to go over here, and if you walk up into the top corner and just jump up and hold X right there, boom. Once you hear that turret sound in the background and you get the current objective to go to Farragut Outpost, you've successfully hit the button and you don't actually have to walk up there. So this is the trick I was talking about earlier. If you do want to make sure you have full health, full shields, just use a fully charged plasma pistol on the ground or on a wall, and it'll damage you a little bit, and you can actually pick up that health pack and give you full health, full shields. So we've done that. Now I do just want to show you that you can despawn this guy if you want to. If, like, per se, you want to scavenge this area for ammo or do anything else, because we are playing co-op, so now we're playing 2 to 4 players, so you may have people that are low on ammo, need this, need that, whatever. If I'm going to speed this up, if you just drive back to where we kind of entered this outdoor area, and again, you don't need to come back, this is just if you want to. I'm just showing you how to despawn that sticky launcher elite. Just go all the way past this bridge here, and once you've done that, you can just turn around and head back, and you'll see when we get back there that he's no longer there. So that's just for your reference. If you want, I will edit to cut forward, because we did actually look around, made sure we had full health, full shields, and full ammo, plasma pistol, and everything. But as you can see here, if you look, he's no longer there. So that's a good way to despawn him and give you some freedom to look around this area if you need to.
We're running out of ammo.
So you can see we just kind of looked around the area, made sure we had everything we needed, and we're going to progress forward. Again, this level is kind of long in the sense that you do have to clear out the enemies in that area, and you're going to want to clear out the enemies in this area, and you're doing it with a Wraith, and the Tough Luck Skull kind of makes it a little frustrating that they dive out of the way a lot, but Tough Luck, it is what it is. It actually helps us out in a lot of scenarios, but it makes this part a little bit longer, because if you're like me and you just shoot Wraiths into the cliffside, over and over, thinking that something's going to change, it can get a little lengthy. And, obviously we're taking our time. So you really don't want to rush this level. There's really no need to. Just stay back, kind of keep popping your Wraith shots at these elites, keep popping your Wraith shots at these ghosts. And eventually you're going to land those shots, and eventually you're going to take them out. Obviously I didn't have the greatest shots at the beginning of this section, but it's okay. We're going to just stay back, and we're going to clean these ghosts up, and then we'll move forward. And there's a couple elites that we need to take out down here as well. So while we're kind of cleaning these up, this is a good moment to just mention that you guys, I just do this for fun. This is a smaller channel, but if you guys like my stuff, please feel free to like, subscribe, get involved in the comments, get involved with our community. It's been a growing channel. Thanks everybody that's shown me support. I really appreciate it. The way that I return that support is obviously by never monetizing this channel. This channel is just meant for gamers. It's just meant for us to have fun. I don't want you guys to filter through ads and such. So if you like my stuff, the best thing you can do is like, subscribe, so that other people can see these videos as well. So I appreciate all the support as we're moving forward in the second part of our Co-Op LASO guide in Halo Reach, just kind of cleaning up these elites here that are giving us some problems by hanging around behind this rock, making our life difficult. And I do also want to mention here that this is a great opportunity for whoever brought that warthog with you to kind of park down behind you, and they can use the chain gun to help you take out these elites a little bit quicker. I'm not sure if I think my partner might have gone to the bathroom or something at this point, but it's a good opportunity to have him up there. There you go. You see him laying into the chain gun right there. That's an easy way to pop their shields and help whoever's in the Wraith take out these elites. Alright, so we finally cleaned them up, and we're going to go ahead and progress on to the next section to activate the comm array. Now again, in this section you're with the blind skull. Keep in mind that the objective indicators are not going to be there, so that's something to keep in mind. But if you kind of just go as soon as you get into this area, kind of head to the left side, deal with this vehicle right in front of you. You want to take that out as fast as possible. The shots from that can kill you very, very fast. So be sure you take that out. And then we're going to kind of just focus our attention on this building on the right here. I believe I died and had to get a checkpoint right there, but that's okay. So just going to take our time. The story of this level really, what makes this level so long is just being safe, and kind of clearing out enemies with the Wraith, because clearing them out with the Wraith is a slow method in this particular playthrough, but it's a safe method. It's very safe. I'm trying to show you guys easy strategies to get through these levels on co-op, and as I mentioned, really as we go through this playthrough, you're going to see it's a mixture of the solo lasso strategies, which are less forgiving with the deaths, obviously, right? You'd have to restart the level or save and quit. But we're going to mix those strategies with some of the speedrun strategies, and it's really dependent on the scenario, kind of which one we're going to use. But I think overall the strategies we use really are going to work well for you in co-op. So just take your time here and eliminate those grunts and those elites on that right hand building. That's really kind of all we're doing right now. We're just kind of taking our time, just taking those guys out and cleaning them up. And the reason we need to clear out the building over there is because there's a switch on the top floor of the building that we need to hit. And so we really want to, and you can actually see on co-op, look how many elites are up there. There's like 3 or 4 elites, I think, when you come into this area, whereas solo, I believe there's only 2. So there is markedly more enemies in certain sections, and I'll try to point all those out to you. Oh man, that could have been a double kill. I didn't even notice that during the playthrough. Those guys jumped right on it. I was probably a little short. But anyway, you can also, if you want to, I prefer to kind of keep the screen clean just for the playthrough, even though I know some people enjoy watching the medals and things. So you can also turn on the competitive medals, and what that's going to do is that's going to help you know when you killed a particular enemy. So I just cut forward there because I hopped out of the Wraith and kind of got some ammo out of that building right there. There's some DMR in there, but we'll go in there a little bit later. I'll show you. So I went ahead and cut forward to me getting back in the Wraith, and we're kind of going on the back side again, just cleaning up these elites that, remarkably just don't seem to let me kill them very easily in this playthrough. I wonder why that is. It's like they want to stay alive, which is silly. We all know what's gonna happen here. Damn, I almost went down there. Anyway, so clean up those guys, and eventually I believe we'll have the last elite here taken out. You can see him up here. So my buddy just popped his shields with the warthog. So he's driving. He's got, which I would recommend you, whoever's not in the Wraith, do the driving and let one of your Marines get in the gunner seat and have them kind of pop shots in this area. You definitely never want to let the AI drive. You're certainly going to die if you do that on LASO. Oh, that worked out. So just ran him over. So once you clear out all those enemies, we can finally progress forward a little bit here. Just drove around, but now we can go into this building, and I kind of scoured the building a little bit, but in that first room there's a switch on the back wall. Once you hit that switch, be sure you pick up this health if you need it, and get right back in the Wraith, because as soon as you pull that switch, you're gonna have a drop ship drop some more enemies into this area, and that drop ship can obviously shoot you as well. So we want to go to the right hand side. We're going to go on the back side of this building, in between the building and the kind of cliff edge here. And as long as you're kind of in that area, you'll see he'll take some shots at me. But once I kind of get in this crevice, you're pretty safe from the dropship's cannon. So this is a great place to be until that dropship gets away. You see it took a couple shots at me, but once it flies off, it really can't get shots on you. So with all these enemies kind of dropped into the area, you can deal with them if you want to, but I prefer just come around the back side. Go ahead and hop out of the Wraith here. I think I'd shoot up here into the second level, take out some of these skirmishers, but we need to get into this building and activate the comm array. So we need to get rid of these skirmishers, knock that one off. Looks like the warthog's going to take care of the rest of it, and while they're taking care, we're going to hop out and we're going to go up into that building. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll continue to shoot at these skirmishers. Thought I hopped out there, but I didn't. You can let whoever's in the warthog just kind of clean this up. It's probably the faster thing to do. Let the warthog clean it up, and you can kind of make your way up to the switch while they're doing that. But I didn't. So you see, I just kind of wasted some time driving around for no reason, because by the time I got around, the warthog and my buddy had him killed anyway. So just kind of go back up to this building. Watch out for that fuel rod grunt on the top. We can take him out with more accurate ray shots than I provide. But once he's down, then we're ready to hop out and activate the comm array. So we're going to do that, and when we do that, we'll be on to the next part of the mission. So that was that health pack that I had grabbed earlier when I searched that I kind of cut forward. So if you do need that health pack, feel free to grab it in the earlier part. When you come in here, be sure you grab these rockets. We're going to exchange our plasma pistol for those rockets, and we're going to give those to a Marine coming up here. That's going to be pretty critical. Maybe some grunts up here. If they are, just beat them down. But on the rooftop here is the switch we need to hit. Once we hit that switch, our allies are going to come into the picture, and we're going to be on to the next portion of the level. So you can see a Marine got in the Wraith and is just driving around. That's not even our co-op buddy. I think that's Cat. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's Cat having some fun. Once the warthog gets dropped, this is a Gauss warthog, we're going to have the Marine get out. We're going to give him those rockets and have him get into the passenger seat, and we want Cat in our back seat. And once we get that set up, we're pretty much ready to go. Now some people left, or behind me. Sometimes people will actually go that way, and you can see my buddy got into the other warthog. Now it's critical. Some people will go this way, but there are enemies this way. You can see that up there. There's really no need to do that. Just turn around and go all the way, just the way we came, and we can avoid fighting those enemies. We don't even have to worry about them. We can just kind of go the way we came, and there's going to be no enemies this way. So there's really no reason to keep going around. Just backtrack. And a critical part of that is that you want to bring both warthogs, okay? And I'll show you why here in a minute. But bring both warthogs, and as we kind of get to this section, there will be one enemy waiting for you, so be careful. You just need to hop out, hit that button, hop back in your warthog. Again, I sped this up a little bit just to kind of get us here, but hit that button. You can hide. do whatever you want. You don't really need to kill that enemy. Once you drive into here, you're pretty much safe. Pull the warthog all the way up to the concrete barricades, and we're gonna hop into that Gauss cannon and clean up these elites with totally accurate shots, but we're gonna clean them up. And these jackals that kind of come down the hill here, they die pretty easily, and you can see my buddy is in his warthog with the chain gun doing the same thing. So we're just kind of laying them down. We're gonna clean these guys up, and then once we do, you'll see the importance of the second warthog. Now you can get by without bringing the second warthog, but with it here makes what we're gonna do exponentially easier. So once you do kind of kill the first set of enemies, we'll go ahead and back the Gauss warthog up, and I'll speed this up a little bit as I'm blasting away at these barricades. But you want to shoot the top right of this barricade and damage it enough, and shoot the top left of the other barricade and damage it enough to it looks just like what it looks like there. And that way you can actually jam your warthog in here. Now you can wiggle through. It may take you a while, but with the second warthog, the easiest thing is to have your buddy just give you a little push, and boom, we're through. And then once you're through, again, you're gonna have some enemies up here. Just take your time. Just anytime you see an elite or a grunt, hop out, get in the Gauss cannon, and clean them up. And eventually we're gonna make our way all the way up to the top section, which is actually where we started this mission. So once we clean up that, what we're going to do, the reason we brought this Gauss is not to take out those elites, but it's actually to deal with those hunters down there. You can see 2 of them. So basically all you want to do is you're gonna kind of keep it back a little bit. Don't drive up too far, or you won't be able to see down into that area where the hunters are. But you're gonna just kind of move around and just keep shooting them. It's gonna take you a minute. I'm gonna speed it up, and I'll kind of cut forward. You don't need to watch all of this, obviously. This can take a while, but it's extremely safe. You're not gonna have to worry about anything. Whenever they get out of vision, essentially just kind of move your warthog, get it into a position where you can see them again, and just keep shooting them. It's gonna take you a minute, and I'll cut forward here so we don't have to watch all of these terrible Gauss shots. But it's just this, right? Just keep moving around and keep taking shots on them as they're in your vision, and eventually you're going to take them out. And once you take them out, now we're kind of ready to advance on, and Kat will kind of let you know that the building's empty. She'll be down there, and once it's kind of clear, you can see I'm just kind of checking to make sure it's totally clear. But once she tells you that it's clear and you walk down, she'll actually usually be fighting an elite up in that room up there at the elevator. And that elite tends to not pay you any attention. Obviously there's a health kit right there, but that elite tends to just mess with Kat. So go up there, give her a hand. You can just kind of plasma burst the guy and headshot him after his shields drop, per usual. Boom, and we're on. We finished that area, so we're getting near the end of this level, guys. This is a longer level, one of the harder levels, to be honest with you, in this LASO playthrough, mainly because of just the time it takes to kind of be careful with that Wraith. So anyway, once you get here, we're going to activate the elevator, and we're going to go up to the next floor, which is really, getting near the end of the level. So once this is pretty key. Once you get to the top, as soon as this door opens, we want to sprint forward because we want to assassinate an elite up here. As soon as that door opens, we want to sprint forward, and if you're fast enough, before this elite can do anything, you can assassinate him. Now I was too slow there, but I was still able to get behind him. But if you're fast enough to just sprint there, when he kind of like hurrahs his arm in the air, like, let's go, before he actually moves, you can actually get behind him and assassinate him. I was a little slow, but it's not too hard. You should be able to take him out if you just sprint forward. And then moving on to the next section here, as soon as this door opens, you're going to see a bunch of your soldiers in here fighting, some of Noble, all in here doing their work. And really, you could actually stay back, and they'll eventually kind of clear up most of these enemies for you. Obviously, it's going to be a little faster for you if you're helping them out, so feel free. But just stay safe, kind of stay in this doorway and pop out. Most of the enemies aren't even going to be shooting at you. They're going to be shooting at your squad. But just kind of peek out when you can and help out and try to get some shots on these jackals. There's going to be an elite out here. So we're going to clean these up, and there's a very critical step after this. It's very, very important. All right, so I'm not going to talk as we're kind of cleaning these enemies up here. So let's clean them up, and once we do, we'll talk about the step that's very important.
Over here.
6, head upstairs and assist the meal. George, make sure he gets there.
Depend on it.
What, they don't like the cookie?
Alright, so we've taken out that elite there. The floor's kind of clear. I checked back here to see if there was a health kit. I wasn't sure if there was, but I couldn't remember. But anyway, I think there might be one near the ammo box back there, but I'm not sure entirely. But anyway, once you clear out that bottom floor, this is very important. Okay, we're going to go up this left stairway here, but we are not going to go into the room. This is absolutely important. Do not go in this room. Instead, jump up on this ledge and just run across. There's 2 jackals right there to the right, but they shouldn't cause you any problem. If you take that ledge to this kind of walkway that brings you to really like the 3rd floor of the room, as long as you take that path, everything up here is going to be despawned. We're not going to have to worry about any enemies in this room and any enemies in the next room, which is very critical, because if you don't take that, there will be a fuel rod grunt up here waiting to decimate you. So please take that way. It's very safe. Now we're on really to the last part of the mission. We're going to grab these rockets here. There will be 2 shielded jackals out here. You can shoot hopefully better rockets than I do to take them out, but once you take them out, we're on to the next section. So clean these guys up. Obviously your buddy, there should be 2 of you. You can see those 2 health packs there, so feel free to get in here and just do work. There's plenty of rocket ammo in the second room as well, because you have to use rockets to take out a lot of banshees and phantoms, so you see all this rocket ammo. But once you get to killing those shielded jackals and progress in here, a phantom is going to drop off 2 invisible elites. Ideally, they're close enough to the ledge that those 2 rocket shots will actually knock them off, which didn't happen. I think I actually splattered one with that box, and I was like, alright man, I think I got him. And then I was coming up this hallway, and whoa, maybe not. So I almost died there. But ideally, where they jump off on that ledge, if you're quick enough, you can actually knock them off the ledge with your rockets and I guess the help of that crate. But it's okay. Like I said, there's a bunch of rocket ammo in here, and there's health packs that are back there on the wall, so grab those and just take out these 2 invisible elites with your rockets. You don't need to be slow about it, and you'll probably have a checkpoint as well. Again, we're playing on co-op, so you can be a little more adventurous with your Halo gameplay. And then once you take all of those out, both players can grab rockets, and essentially we're just going to stay back and take out some phantoms and take out some banshees until the level completes. So while we're doing that, I hope you guys are enjoying the guide. I hope you found it helpful. Again, I'm putting this together because there's just really not many co-op guides out there, and some of the single player strategies aren't that sound for co-op. Most of the single player strategies are actually pretty much what we used in this particular level, but some of them really aren't as efficient as some of the things I'm going to show you. So I hope you guys are finding it helpful. I hope you guys are going to use this to help you get the achievement to beat Halo Reach in the Master Chief Collection on LASO difficulty. And I hope all of you will get the achievement, and hopefully I'll see you. I'm just going to let this play out, and hopefully I'll see you guys in part 3 of our LASO guide in Halo Reach.
Noble team, longswords are inbound and ready to push. Orbital defense is standing by to take the shot.